Hey y'all, it's Amber
and Clara.
Welcome to Need for Reality, where the mixers are loud, the takes are hotter than the oven, and the drama never disappoints.
Grab a glass of wine, coffee, or whatever is around you, preheat to 350, and let's get into it. Hey buddy.
Hey buddy.
What's up, weekend friends?
Happy Mother's Day. Not that any of us are, well, you both are a mother to kitties. So happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot to be recognized in this space.
Wow, Amber, you recognized me. My son didn't. Rex just meowed at me for food this morning.
He didn't even get you a gift? Rude. You take care of him every day.
How was this weekend? How was this week, Amber? Pretend I can talk for a second. You don't have to edit that out, Corbyn. Let the viewers know I'm not perfect.
It was a good week. Nothing really exciting happened. I would say the highlight, though, was seeing The Devil Wears Prada 2 again. With Corbyn again. But this time we did take Ben, his brother, two of his brothers, a girlfriend of theirs, and my mother-in-law, because she also really wanted to see it. So it was a part of the whole Mother's Day weekend thing. And I felt like I could enjoy it more this time around because having seen it once and already knowing the story, I was looking more at the fashion. Corbyn and I had seen that Paige and Hannah were in one of the scenes, so we were eyeing them like a hawk, and we found them in the birthday scene. So I just thought it was fun. And we also went to the Alamo, which is just a great experience. So I highly recommend. If anybody has never been to an Alamo and you live near an Alamo, you got to go to the Alamo.
What is your top Alamo order when you go to the Alamo?
Keep it easy. Popcorn and a drink. Free refills. So I did the classic with the butter on the side because Ben wanted the butter. I did not. And then I did get unsweet tea because, you know, your girl's pageant prepping. But I did get a little sweet surprise because my waiter did give me a sweet tea. So I was like, oh, maybe some drinks are allowed to be happening.
Maybe it was destined to get sweet tea. You know, I love when that happens. Little happy accidents.
It is those happy accidents that make the day.
I will say I had the Bavarian pretzel sticks in your honor, Amber. Amber loves a pretzel. They were also very good. But the loaded fries are fantastic. And the truffle popcorn is fantastic.
Not me realizing that now I'm actually hungry. So my bad. Well, that's fun. I'm glad that you guys had fun. Sorry I couldn't join the fun. I was on a little date this weekend. I went on one of my first coffee dates. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing else interesting to me really happened this week. But Corbyn's looking at me like I wrote something down.
You did sign up for speed dating with me. coming soon to a podcast near you.
Yeah, I did sign up for speed dating. We're going to take a whack at dating again, you guys, mostly because we need content for this podcast, so it doesn't sound so dull. I don't do anything. But I will say, Amber, I was watching this thing called No Laying Up, I want to say is what it's called. It's like a golf show on YouTube where these guys have $500 and they have to go on a weekend trip and they have to play golf, pay for food, and find accommodations without going over $500. And they have rules for when they golf that if they get certain amount of birdies or pars or something, they make money off of that. So then that's more of their spending. But they were in New Mexico. And I was thinking about our little time through New Mexico and how much fun we had. And I think when we were in New Mexico, we were trying to try every single food possible of like certain places. And I was laughing because for us, I think we didn't get any New Mexican food. We stopped at that stupid Panera because we were both going through it. Crow was trying to die. New Mexico is where Crow shit herself in the car. But I think that was one of the harrowing parts of our journey.
Well, yeah, because that was also the part in the journey where I got that email from my old landlord where she was like, I'm going to sue you essentially because you didn't follow your lease, which I feel like I did. So your girl needed panic food. She needed the comfort of Panera bread. So that's what lives rent free in my mind about freaking New Mexico. That stupid email from that person. Gosh.
Well, then what's your go to Panera order? Because mine, you pick two, half mac and cheese, half Chipotle chicken avocado melt.
Mine is actually, I usually don't do the you pick two. I do a chicken frontega sandwich without the red onions because I don't like raw red onion. And then I always choose the chips. But I will say I do love their broccoli cheddar soup. I haven't had it in a long time because it hurts my little tummy because I'm sensitive.
I feel like I don't have a go to one because I used to work at Panera Bread. So I essentially like everything. But right now, if I'm doing it, it's chicken noodle soup with a turkey sandwich. Going for that low cal, high lean protein meats. Yeah. But I did get roasted at work this week. So I got a question for you guys. Do you prefer any beverages at room temperature? Because my coworker was filling a refrigerator at work and he goes, "Hey, I just got to ask before I put all these drinks in a refrigerator. Are you insane like Amber and likes to keep some drinks at room temperature?" He did not call me insane, by the way. That was just me exaggerating. But he essentially roasted me because I do prefer a lot of my drinks at room temperature.
For those who don't know, I spent a lot of time with Amber a few summers ago where we were stuck in a fucking car for a week at a time. It was a whole week. It was like 8 days almost. And you learn a lot about a person. You smell a lot of things with a person. Amber tried to gas me out a few times. Wait, do you remember I almost shit myself in West Virginia?
Every time I pass that exit, I go, "That's the outhouse." Claire.
Okay, we said no. She can't even breathe.
It was so funny.
Wait, I have to explain this real quick. Two things. One, my stomach does not like pepperoni rolls. It used to, doesn't anymore. It's either the pepperoni or it's the cheese or it's something else that really fucks up with my stomach. Two, my car died in a Sheetz parking lot in somewhere in West Virginia, and this really nice old guy was watching us like Tweedledee, Tweedledum, trying to fucking figure out how the hell to jump a car. He's like, "I got this for you, ladies." I was like, "Great, can't wait." And like also, we had just driven. This was our last day, our last freaking day. So anyway, eat the pepperoni roll because I'm stressed out now. And maybe like 45 minutes later, the hair on my arms starts standing up. I have goosebumps. I'm sweating profusely. Amber's like, "La di da." She's like, "Look at the mountains. They're going to drive us off a fucking cliff." I was like, "Cool. Let's stay focused on the road." She does not want to stay focused on the road. So then I look at her. I said, "Amber, I'm going to shit myself. I can feel it. I can feel it coming." We get off because we see there's a Liberty gas station. The Liberty gas station is 3 miles away. I said, I can't hold it. I say, there's a dingy ass little community center where like probably someone has been murdered and there's kids outside at fucking camp. And so I walk up and look at the lady. I said, "Is there a bathroom inside?" She goes, "No, there's an outhouse." This outhouse has seen better days. And let me tell you, this outhouse was screaming by the time I was coming in because I sat down. I must have lost 5 to 10 pounds. Like it was, and I can like hear it spattering at the bottom. Anyway, so yeah, I lost a piece of me in that West Virginia outhouse.
I got one for you. In a New York City Barnes & Noble that may or may not have seen the worst of me. Fun fact, if you are if you're going to get food poisoning, don't be wearing a one piece. Don't be wearing a one piece jumpsuit.
I know we said we were going to post more reels about reality TV, but I think this is the next reel. Anyway, but my point is that I learned going back, talk about a tangent. I learned that Amber likes to leave her pop, and she calls it pop because she's from Ginsburg. And I learned that she likes to leave it in the car overnight during the August summer. so that it gets nice and warm and flat. And I watched her take a swig. And I was like, oh, you don't want a fresh soda? She said, no, I prefer it hot, like tea.
Well, bro, it's not like it's 80 degrees at night. It was like probably like a nice 70. My preference of temperature is 72 anyways. Preferred room temp. And sometimes the carbonation just upsets my belly. So when it's flat, it doesn't leave the bubble in my belly. It's more tolerable.
I was raised in an ice household. Everything has ice. Everything. So much so that when my mom and I were in Greece, we were ordering at a restaurant and we asked for ice in our drinks. And the waiter looked at us and went, "Are you guys Americans?" And we were like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay." But Clara, have you noticed anytime we do one of these questions or hot takes, you and I tend to fall on the same page, and Amber's the one that's got a different, to say it nicely, opinion?
Dude, this girl is the strangest girl I've ever met in my freaking life. She does a lot of random things that I don't quite understand.
You know what's funny is I told Ben that I was going to ask that question on the pod. He goes, "You would be a great podcaster because you have some really weird things."
We have a question on the whiteboard at work, and it's, do you brush your teeth before you get dressed or after you get dressed? I just need to know, Amber. I feel like I need to know, what is your routine?
So my morning routine is I get home from the gym and then I'll brush my teeth before I hop in the shower. So by the time I'm done showering and my makeup is full on, I go downstairs to eat breakfast and then leave because I don't want to taste the mint when I'm drinking my coffee and eating my yogurt.
I brush my teeth right before I leave the house in the morning, like after I get dressed, after everything. I ride the metro every single day, and I don't want to be a contributing factor to the smells of the metro.
I don't brush my teeth in the morning. I kind of forget sometimes.
You are disgusting. Can we roast Clara now? Are we off the Amber train? Are we hopping over to Clara now?
Stop it.
No.
No. Listen to me. Listen here. Sometimes I forget. Listen, I walk out. I wake up really stupid early in the morning. You do as well. So that's not an excuse. I understand this. However, I drink my coffee in the morning and then I pop in a piece of gum and I go to the gym. I come home and then sometimes I'll shower and then I'll take a nap and then I'll get ready for work. I usually take like a 30-minute a nap. When I get to the office, I have my third cup of coffee in the morning. That's usually when I will go into the actual bathroom at work and I will brush my teeth. But I don't do it the second I wake up and I don't do it before I leave the house because I just kind of forget. And I have a toothbrush at work.
Well, everyone should have a toothbrush at work. I leave one in my work bag because you never know when you need a little freshen up. Or in my case, if you go to work for 24 hours straight, you need to brush your teeth. You're a little stanky, right? Mm-hmm.
I have a toothbrush, body spray, and deodorant in one of my drawers at work, just in case. But I do think that with my morning routine, I brush my teeth before I leave the house because I drink my coffee once I get to work. So I have my whole metro ride to get that minty taste out of my mouth. But yeah, I definitely brush my teeth before I leave the house.
Well, some of us are just different, okay? Listen, dental hygiene. At least I go to the dentist, okay? At least I go twice a year.
But that's why you have cavities, Clara. Start brushing them in the morning.
Listen, I know. I haven't had a cavity again this year.
Yeah, but guess what? I've never had a cavity. And guess what? It's probably because I brush my teeth in the morning.
Well,
That's just...
Should we subpoena Clara's dental records?
That's really fucked up. Actually, no. I have a really traumatic experience at a dental place. It was really, really bad. Anyway, tangents. That's enough of that. We said New Mexico. Anything else about this week? I gotta say, it was a week for the summer house people.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Corbyn can't hear us anyway. She takes off her headphones.
Yeah, you're just... Clara is here this week, Corbyn.
It was a really bad week to be Wes Wilson, and his nudes leaked. I saw his nudes again, by the way. My friend was showing them, around. So,
Ooh, by the same girl or by someone else?
same girl that goes to my gym, whose friend's sister was dating Wes and got a nude. And in my opinion, it wasn't a medical nude. I don't think I've ever sent a medical nude like that in my life. Don't send nudes. Anyway, so I'm very excited for the reunion. We will be recapping that reunion because it's going to be hot and juicy and beautiful, and I can't wait. It's almost like a chicken, hot and juicy.
I mean, between the episode and what was it, 2 days ago, with all the Lindsay Hubbard and Michael Rappaport stuff. I mean, crazy.
I would just like to say we are the Carl fan club over here. That man has aged like fine wine that I can no longer drink, but I would drink him up in a minute.
You and him, because he's all sober.
Yeah.
Because he's got, it's Sobar, right?
Soft bar.
Soft bar.
She calls herself a fan.
I do call myself a fan.
I will say, yeah, Carl and Lindsay dancing together with Kyle at the Vulture event. It was nice to see our three OGs finally getting along, especially like after this past week's episode of like where things were kind of weird. Yeah, the vibes were.
I mean, Kyle was literally yelling at Carl at the end.
Dude,
it was more than just weird.
I'm excited.
It was aggressive.
Well, I'm excited to kind of see them throw hands like a little bit more. I have a feeling. And also, like, if my husband ever said fuck you to me, I don't even know what I would do. I mean, I think I would also smirk like Amanda did. I think I would laugh and be like, this is typical behavior. Like, it was disgusting. And we don't have to get into it because we have so many other things that we have to get into. But I didn't love it.
Yeah, but that was from a while ago. Did he say it again? I just missed it in this last episode?
Yeah, that was the whole entire thing that started this fight. He looked at Amanda and he was like, fuck you. And West was sitting next to Amanda and Carl was like, you need to calm down, dude. You gotta back it up. Like, you gotta calm down. And then like a whole bunch of other shit started happening.
Okay, I must have missed that part while I was making my taco mac and cheese.
That sounds like a recipe that we're gonna have to talk about later at a different date. But anyway, regardless, I do think that this reunion is going to be messy. I'm excited for us to recap it. I think it'll be our first reunion that we'll recap and like we'll kind of see where it goes. But it's 3 parts. Also, if you live in the New York City area, if we have any New York listeners, they're going to release it in theaters. I know. I almost thought about us going.
Do we want to take a quick train trip to the Big Apple so that we can watch this in theaters?
It's on a Tuesday night.
I have some PTO to burn.
I'll do it if you want to do it.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Like, for real. I'm always in New York. I love New York. I'm also on season 6. So hopefully by the time we're there, I will be caught up.
But the part 1 is in 2 weeks because next week should be the season finale, right?
Yes.
I stand on what I said. I should be done.
I have faith in you, Corbyn.
Should we jump into the valley?
I think we should hop on over to the West Coast.
West Coast living. I hated this episode for a few reasons. You didn't like it?
You know, last week in the pod, I said that I was really excited for this week's because they're traveling. It looked juicy. And I still feel like it was not the juice that I was looking for. I think there were some spicy moments for sure, but this just wasn't what I was expecting in terms of the drama.
I have to say that we are seeing some of the worst men on reality TV this week. I think that Danny and the way that he is treating Nia, his wife, also like, if I recall at the beginning of the season, he was like, what if we had one more? And she's like, absolutely not. And I wouldn't want to have another baby, nor would I want to touch a man who's yelling at me while I'm eating a sandwich. I just think that was like some of the most toxic behavior I've ever seen. You want your wife to be doing every single little thing for you? I'm sorry, is this the 1940s, 1950s? Because that's not my cup of tea. And also that you're going to berate her. She gave birth to what? They have four beautiful children. All healthy. Meanwhile, she's also trying to take care of her career. I'm sorry, you doing any voice acting right now, Danny? No. Like, it was so disgusting and just so toxic to see. And I cannot believe that he acted like that on live television. Well, not live, but, television.
Well, to go back to your point, the fact that he got also upset about her, taking a minute and having that break and him saying, well, then why did we bring the nanny? Why did we bring the babysitter? Sir, this is your child. Don't you think you would be wanting to put down your child to bed, even if it's that little bit of time? Like, She's not going to be that young forever, and you're going out. So why not spend that little bit of time with your kid? It just didn't make sense to me. But and I also felt bad too when they were at the roller coaster, or they were at the amusement park, and he was like, "You're being performative." Excuse me, what? Sir, you're the one who had your back turned to the camera because you're too scared to have a drink because of all the stuff that happened to you and everything that happened last season. Yeah, Danny was really boiling my blood this episode. I was shocked, especially because I've liked him so far in the valley. I think he's getting the villain edit, in my opinion.
Well, I also think that a huge part of this is that he could have asked the nanny simply, "Hey, could you please help me get a swaddle?" This weekend I helped one of my really good friends. I watched two of her kids, 6-year old and a 9-10 month old. I did this shit by myself. Am I a parent? Absolutely not. But like, I know how to put two children down to bed at the same time. It's not rocket science. And like, they only have one child with them. It is not like Nia's responsibility the whole entire time. She knew what she was doing. She was eating a sandwich because she knew that there was a nanny there if he needed it. And it's just like, I mean this with no disrespect to all men, but men suck. Men are terrible, totally incapable of being like hands-on parents versus mothers sometimes. Not all men are like that. I will guarantee you that, but it was just ridiculous. But no, I think that's part of the episode that really pissed me off the most. That just like made me kind of get the ick. But what other hot takes like stood out to you?
Well, I'm curious to get your opinion on Kiana. First of all, I think she's stunning. I loved her confidence. And I think it's so cute how Tom is head over heels for this girl. Do you think that maybe not necessarily the one, but do you think that she's going to be around for a long time?
I hope so because they're still together. I think that it was a little bit more of a natural meet cute type of deal versus sliding into DMs and such. Also, my question to you, throw it back. Were the chairs that low at Tom Tom when we went?
I don't remember them being that low, but maybe because we're short queens, it was normal height for us.
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. I hope that they stay together. I think I listened to him on, or she was on his podcast, and I really liked the flow and the banter that they had going on. She's a little bit younger than him. That's always nice. I think it's how many?
Isn't she like almost 20 years younger than him? Because I think she's 27. And isn't he in his 40s now?
Oh my God.
Okay, maybe not 20 some years, but at least,
15 or 16.
yeah, my guess. But I also don't know how old Tom is. Do you have the answer, Corbin?
He's 43. Amber's doing math right now.
16 years. Haha, see? You can always count on your fingers. You're never too old to count on your fingers.
I am looking at a video of you drinking a pumptini. One, you don't look like you're enjoying it. Two, it does look like the seats are actually low. It does look like we were kind of like down there a little bit. So
I don't think I liked the Tom Tom drink that I had. I think it was because there was like was that the one that had all like the raspberry seeds in it? There was too much schmutz.
Oh, another thing about Amber, she doesn't like when there's too much schmutz on her, her fruit.
I just don't like the schmutz in my teeth. They're taking away from the experience. I just wanted the raspberry, whatever was in that drink. I don't actually want to taste the raspberry seeds or chew on them, I guess. I wasn't actually wanting a raspberry.
That's completely fair. So, on that, I hope that they last together. I hope that it works out. I'm interested to see if they want kids in the future, if there will be an engagement, if it will be kind of like a Tom and Ariana situation where they just stay together for a really long time and just become life partners. There's nothing wrong with that. Another part of this that I was very interested in seeing was Michelle and her transformation of her attitude on life, how she's doing without her mom. I didn't realize her mom passed away so close to her birthday, and then also Mother's Day too. So that was very tragic to see. And of course, we saw Lala's reaction to when her dad passed away and how detrimental that was to her and her mental health. But it was nice to see Lala and Michelle be able to bond over something. And I just, my heart breaks for Michelle because she was also going through such a toxic breakup with Jesse. And I wonder if Jesse was there for her during that time and we just didn't see it off camera. I mean, we kind of saw it a little bit of him say, like, his relationship with her mom and how she was as a grandmother. So I don't know. That broke my heart, but wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
Well, I cried during that last scene because I only lost dad in September. So it just really hit close to home that her and I are going through the same thing. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was also a little jealous because at least her mom met Isabella. My dad will never meet my future kids. He'll never be able to have that grandparent moment. It also made me feel bad for Lala too because I could connect with her on that level of losing your dad because dads do hold a special place in your heart. So I was like, wow, I'm getting really emotional at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. But I thought it was great to see all that. But then I also thought, man, someone's got to protect the parents of these Bravo members because Jo-Ellen just lost her grandpa. Well, in her time of the show, Michelle's mom. I mean, I know Lala said what her dad died 7 years ago, but your girl can't handle any more of the sadness or people passing away.
Yeah, one of the ladies of London on that series also just lost their parent, I think. So it's just, I don't know, it's like a Bravo curse maybe, but it's one of those things that I think watching how people react to it kind of maybe mentally prepares you to react to it in some way, or maybe just like also allows you, I mean, I guess you never know how like you're going to react in that situation, but also like you said, it's the relatability factor because so many of the times you're like, wow, I have no relation to any of these characters whatsoever, except for maybe this is how it is. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else did you take away from the Valley this week?
I want to know your thoughts on the whole Janet and Zach thing because honestly, I was cringing at it. And I knew, like, even though Janet was saying in her confessional, oh, he knows that we're kidding. And he's like, I'm not her best friend. It kind of still felt like she really did want Zach to be her best friend. I was like, girl, you are going over the line of being his quote unquote best friend when Yin's only had one conversation. I didn't understand. So I kind of was with Kristen Doty on that one. I was like, this is weird. This is weird.
I did not enjoy seeing that for Janet either. I thought that Janet, give her an inch and she takes a mile. I think that's what the saying is. Um, Same with like her smoking with Kristen and she thinks that it was a peace pipe and Kristen's like, no, literally not. I think that Kristen kind of shaming Zach a little bit was going a little bit too far because it's like, yes, alliances can have a thing, but also you can still feel the same way about a person without being completely like a dick to them. So I did think that was a little bit too far. I I can't with Janet anymore. I like that she gets along with certain people in the group and I think that fits, but I don't think that her and Zach are a good mix together. I think that they're two judgmental people who will never see eye to eye and I kind of like Zach a lot more without her in his like aura.
Yeah, I agree with that. So my only final thought on this week is when they were on the beach at the sunset, it was Schwartzy with the girls. Gosh, that sunset, fantastic. Imagine being on the top of that roller coaster and you're looking out over the Pacific Ocean and the sun is just orange over the water. Oh my gosh, I was so jealous. I was like, "Can that be me, please? Can I be at this amusement park and enjoy just a nice sunset on the beach.
It was what? Schwartz, Michelle, and Lala, and Brittany. It's like my dream blunt rotation, honestly. It's just like hanging out with them. And I feel like minus Michelle, those are like our OGs of like who have really been on reality TV, who know this stuff. And I really enjoy seeing them all together and their friendship and kind of taking Schwartz under their wing of being like, hey, we're here for you. I know like Schwartz has lost a lot of people in his life, you know, and I think that breaks my heart a little bit because he does seem like a genuine guy, little space cadet, but like I really do enjoy him and seeing him on my screen. So yeah, not gonna deep dive much more into the valley this week. It was kind of the season's just so dark and it's just so realistic of like the pains that people must go through as like they get older, they start families, their bodies and everything, their marriages. And I think I'm at the age where I'm like, oh, I don't want to see this like actual reality TV right now. Like that's it's hitting too close to home.
Yeah, I can understand that. So then, on that note, let's hop on a train and let's make our way over to Rhode Island.
What is this? A train? This is like the golden ages or whatever of technology of
Hey,
automobiles.
I was inspired by the Valleys episode on that one. I was like, man, I got to take the Amtrak more. Oh my gosh, you didn't get the reference?
I
Come
didn't get the
on.
reference.
Oh my.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were throwing it back to when Clara said, "What is this? The 1940s or 1950s?"
All right, governor. I will hop on this train with you, and we shall go to Rhode Island.
Thank you. Let's go.
I will say the Real Housewives of Rhode Island continue to surprise me and continue to make me so happy that we are doing this recapping.
For real, I feel like they gave this episode. So, where do I want to start with all this? I'm surprised that they started off with the whole Kelsey and Rosie thing again because I thought it was kind of resolved in last week's episode. Or am I thinking incorrectly?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because I literally put in my notes that I must have blacked out last week because like I kind of remember them fighting and what they were fighting about. And I also just feel that like Rosie is really annoying. I think that, like I've said, she's my least favorite character. But I also think they're too strong of souls to be friends. And I think that it's like oil and water. They just will not ever mix together in a good way. And I think we see that in a preview for next week's episode that their friendship does not last long. What they have going for them is they are similar of age. They look alike. They have great fashion sense but they just do not seem like genuine friendship types. And I think we could say that for a few other ladies. You know, you see that Liz is like, I'm not interested in being around the younger girls while they flirt with people. And that's like another thing. You can have those different types of levels of friendship. I'm sure there's like people in my life that like we get along great, but we would never be like real close in general. So I'm glad they did touch on it a bit because I was reminded of what I missed last week, but it was a lot.
It definitely was. What did you think about the whole Jo-Ellen and Alicia conversation? I thought that was very sad to see that they both experienced what they experienced. More for Jo-Ellen because the fact that she went to school with really bad kids when she was just being a normal teenager is absurd. But I do feel bad for Alicia because it never feels good to be unwanted, especially by someone who's supposed to love you unconditionally.
I do wonder where that school was that Jo-Ellen went to, if it was in Providence, because I remember growing up, it wasn't in Providence, it was like in Cranston, maybe like Garden City is what they called it, because we would pass the school. It's now like, I can't remember, it's like office buildings, but my mom used to always say that's like where all the bad kids went, and then it turned into a juvie after that, but like it was definitely like a bad kid reform school, so I do wonder if it's there. I think that conversation was tragic. I think that that generation of parents didn't know how to handle a lot of mental illnesses like we do and how like Jo-Ellen does now as well because she went through that. I think that it does feel shitty when you feel like you're more of a burden versus like someone trying to help you. My heart breaks for both of them. I think that was some of the most real shit that we've seen. And we do see that Jo-Ellen has a lot of tension towards her mom. So I don't blame her for acting out against her mom and also just kind of keeping that distance and keeping that relationship, separated.
I do have to say, I'm really annoyed with Verizon, or if you watched on Bravo, about whatever the chauffeur said, because I really want to know what the story was about him living in that house. It'd be a great spooky season story.
I actually have a question from the breakfast scene. Your ideal breakfast buffet, real quick. What would it have on it?
Well, feel like you got to have bacon, you got to have sausage, made to order eggs. You can't do any of that pre made stuff because that's just nasty. Sitting out eggs is gross. You got to have your yogurt because you need your little fermentation with typical yogurt toppings to make a parfait. I do like the option of not yogurt. I already said yogurt. Oatmeal. Because sometimes your girl just really wants an oatmeal. And then, ooh, a good bagel. Maybe a little pastry in there. Like a powwow chocolate. Sometimes I need a little sweet treat in the morning too. How about you?
Just clarifying, you didn't say cereal in that.
I'm freaking over cereal. I'm boycotting cereal because it's taken over my life. So no, I don't want cereal. I want everything but cereal right now.
Thank you for clarifying. I would say that my ideal breakfast buffet, yes, bacon and sausage. I love dipping my like sausage links or sausage patties into maple syrup. I don't know why. It just always slaps every single time. Okay, great. I'm glad that's not like up for debate. I would say I don't like waffles that much. I'm more of a French toast or a pancake type of gal. I want to have some like heavy stuff in there. Agreed with you on made to order eggs. I'm really big into omelets actually. Love a good omelet. Love a good like scramble, honestly. Some breakfast potatoes too.
Ooh, I've completely forgot about those, but I'm more of like a dippy egg kind of gal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Give me that runny yolk.
Yeah. Fiesta potatoes, breakfast potatoes, or hash browns. Yes, absolutely. But anyway, sorry. Different tangent, different time. But I definitely was looking at that buffet and I was like, wow, I would slap that buffet right now.
But you know what's crazy is that they had a buffet for what? There's 5 of them in that house. Why not just make to order breakfast at that point? I feel like that's a waste of sunshine to make it for a few people.
Production's got to eat too.
Duh. Can't believe I forgot about that. I'm sorry, production of Real Housewives of Rhode Island people.
Okay. A few things. What?
So wait, do you think they're all staying in the haunted mansion?
I think production is either staying in the haunted mansion or they're staying somewhere offsite very close to the haunted mansion.
What if they're staying in the basement? Ooh.
Spooky. Rosie and her stomach issues. Is she pregnant?
I want to say yes, because I feel like that'd be a really twist in her not wanting kids. But it could be just the anxiety of that whole whatever went on with her and Kelsey. Because sometimes when you're a little stressed, you get a little upset stomach. So I get it.
Don't I know it? I want to say that at the breakfast scene, I think Alicia looks gorgeous. No makeup. Fabulous. Skin, flawless. I want them, whatever she's having.
The same with Jo-Ellen. I thought she looked really nice too. Just the whole natural. Use sunscreen.
Okay. So here's my issue that I have. I love Ashley. I think we talked about how we don't think that she meshes well in this cast a little bit because she is her version of reality TV is very different than this version of reality TV. Her crying when there's conflict really does not get me going. I think that there's just so many emotions. She can't do confrontation. And it's interesting to watch her try and navigate how to show those feelings because she doesn't want to come off on a certain way. I can tell that she's trying to kind of like navigate those on her own and maybe push them down. I still love her. I think that when she was crying later in the episode, totally warranted not being with your child. And also, it might have just been the stress of being away. Your husband's away. The nanny and the mom are there, but you're not physically there with your child, and you know your child's sick. And that just kind of broke my heart for her. I get her walking into a room and feeling like that, like the tensions are high, or like, you know, it's maybe not as then like when the tension is broken. I think she's an empath, classic empath. But yeah, I'm having a hard time watching her interact with the rest of the women.
Well, and you can tell that she's all bachelor, bachelorette, because that's all they do on that show is it's just cry, 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 which makes sense for that show, but it just doesn't really make sense for the housewives because to me, they give confidence, they give not so emotional, I guess, in that sort of way. I mean, when Jo-Ellen and Alicia had their conversation, obviously they were tearing up. That's different, but it's not like random crying like you do on The Bachelor. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that maybe hanging out with the housewives more, that that will change. But again, it would make me curious if she's invited back to be a housewife in the next season if they're renewed. But you know what I also thought was interesting is that whole scene when they're on the slip and slide, which looked so much fun. But seeing the difference of age between Ashley, Rosie, and Kelsey and Liz, because it makes me wonder if Jo-Ellen was there or if Alicia was there or Rulla, would any of them done the slip and slide?
Okay, so a few thoughts on the slip and slide. One, I cannot believe that they allowed for that water slide to be on those grounds, considering how much that like whole entire estate costs to keep up. I was like, wow, I wouldn't like. It was almost similar to when Ben was like, you can put your pool on certain parts of the house, but not on this part. I mean, here's the thing. We almost have like our first Gen Z housewife, you know, and I think there are many layers to the different ages and how we connect. I mean, my two other best friends are 16 years older than me, and you can sometimes tell when like I act out or when I act a certain way. They're like, okay, you're acting too much like our children. And I always say fuck you to them on that course. But like, it's, I do wonder too if Jo-Ellen was there, how she would have acted if Liz would have felt more comfortable in a situation like that. I can get it too. I did put in my notes like Liz is so real for not wanting to be near like too much near the near girl or younger girls, because even at my job, I find that I'm in like this age group now where yeah, I can like hang out with the young cool kids, but also I'm not in that place anymore to talk about certain things, to go out every single weekend, even though that's what I was doing like what 6 months ago. But like your habits change. And sometimes I just want a little quiet time. I don't want to be outside time, you know? So I agree with you on that. Is there anything else from that specific part?
I felt like it really should have only been Kelsey encouraging the whole let's go and go on the slip and slide because she's the only single one. So the fact that, you know, Rosie and Ashley were kind of playing into it, I thought was kind of weird. I mean, granted, obviously there were attractive men, so who's not going to want to look? But I don't know. I felt like Rosie was pushing it a little bit, where I was like, "Girl, you're married." So that was my whole thought onto it.
Boris is hot. I'll tell you that. Boris, sexy man. Would I scream the name Boris in bed? Absolutely not. I don't. We'd have to change that. Yeah. So come B or something like that. I don't even like that. Ew.
Boris.
Boris. Oh, Boris.
Do you think it was Russian?
His
Boris.
accent kind of sounds like it. German?
I don't think it's German. Polish?
We could go through all of Europe if you want.
No, because it's not all of Europe. I feel like it's very Eastern European. Boris, if you happen to be listening, we would love to know where you come from and what your nationality is.
I really love Jo-Ellen's outfit going to the bus. Also, before we move away from this, I liked watching Ashley and Liz kind of get to know each other and have their moment. I think that their relationship has an opportunity to bloom, and I would love to see it.
I agree, and I really appreciated that. And it kind of helps bridge the divide between some of the older housewives with some of these younger ones. But I also thought it was weird that she called her Lammy Liz. I was like, no, Liz is not that kind of lady. She might be soft once you get to know her, but she's no lamb. So try again. Pick a different nickname.
Yes. Okay. So we head to this boat, this lovely little looking boat. We get context that Ashley is leaving because her son is going to the emergency room. I guess we'll see next week how that all ends out. But I did feel for her in that moment of like, I'm so glad there were little dinghies for them to get her like back to the boat. I too identify very well with having charcuterie on a boat. That would be my dream. Give me a virgin margarita. I would live my best life. Actually, I think my favorite type of meal is a charcuterie board. And I do think we need to do that again of having a charcuterie board together.
But would you consider charcuterie a meal, though? Because to me, I feel like that's more of a graze, a snack, maybe an appetizer. I don't know if I would consider that a meal.
Okay, do you not remember Crow's 16th birthday party, 17th birthday party when I made that big charcuterie? Yes, we had hot dogs, but you, me, and Rachel sat around and ate charcuterie for an hour afterwards. And we were so full. I was so full I threw up later. But yeah, that was a full ass meal. That's girl dinner, baby. That's girl dinner.
But I guess thinking about the nutrition of most charcuterie boards, it's mostly carbs and fats. No wonder I'm like, it's not really a meal because you're not really getting protein, like real good protein. Why are you giving me that look?
The fucking meats, do they not
Bro,
have
no,
protein?
salami's mostly fat.
Okay, well, it's not only salami. You can put turkey on a charcuterie board.
When do you ever put turkey on a charcuterie
I don't
board?
know, but maybe I'm going to start.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Sliced meats. It just says sliced meats. It could be any types of meats. Prosciutto. Yeah, it's got a lot of
Well,
salt in it.
but I would say probably more protein than fat because that's what's going to fill you up.
I'm telling you, it's a meal. It's a full ass meal. It can be a full ass meal. Think about it.
But it's in the appetizer section of a menu.
Okay, cool. Then guess what? I don't know. Mac and cheese isn't a real entree then. It's a side dish.
It is.
Okay,
I've seen it as a side.
Corbyn's offended by that notion. But listen, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I think this is bullshit.
Amber, did you not have taco mac and cheese as your meals for the past week?
Excuse me, it's like cheeseburger mac from Hamburger Helper, all right? Except it's not from the processed box, it's from the homemade. So, shush.
Sounds like mac and cheese is a meal to me.
Sounds like charcuterie is a meal to me. I do think that Rhode Island is too small, that Kelsey's ex also hooked up with Jo-Ellen, and that it's a sibling comparison. Would love to know what the other sibling thinks about being told that they're bad in bed.
I really hope that they're not watching this show then, or at least if they are, they skip this episode because what a ego buster, let me tell you.
But when she said that was on land, not on a boat, that really cracked me up. I mean, like, listen, love to get my shit rocked on a boat. Rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat. I guess that really takes us to the last scene where we see things start to unravel with the evidence with Rulla. Also, the Rulla of it all. That was so staged. I'm not sick in bed with a full ass face of makeup. And 3, she really, really played that well when her child gave her a blob of paper that had like brown on it. Wow. It's art. That's wonderful. Could not be me.
Yeah, Rulla, if you happen to be sick, I'm sorry, it just wasn't giving sick. It was giving, but very much staged. Like, I wouldn't, if I'm dying in bed, oh, I look like I'm dying in bed. I'm not going to ask anybody to do my makeup or whatever. But I just really want to know. I know we got a description of what the video was, but I feel like I kind of want to see the video. Bravo, come on. Why not spill the tea for real? That's what the people want.
Release the tapes. But I firmly believe that Rulla knows that her husband is cheating, and I firmly believe that she is playing dumb to save face, because I think that there are women out there who know that their husbands are floundering idiots and continue to turn AI because maybe they think starting over is too much. I think that women many of the time settle for things, and like, I don't know if we settle out of I mean, Rulla has a really good job, so I don't know if it's out of financial security, if it's out of keeping the kids together, like, and making sure the family stays together, if it's religion. We saw that her Syrian family was like, doesn't want to talk about divorce or anything of the sort. So it just breaks my heart. They didn't want to talk about that. And so this game that she's playing and the act that she's playing is either great for reality TV because we're going to see it all blow up, and maybe she gets frustrated and she's like, okay, here's what happens. But still, they're still doing things on Watch What Happens Live together. Like he was there at her Watch What Happens Live's taping. Her husband was there, and Andy was like, I'm going to ask you some questions, and he did not answer them. And he was like very flustered when Andy was like alluding to all his cheating stuff. So they listen, we might be playing checkers, they might be playing chess, and we just don't know them yet. But I think it's such bullshit that Jo-Ellen's getting all this shit and all this heat for coming up with the evidence that she said she was going to come up with. Like, girl, don't play. And then also, Rulla, if you're going to say that, like, oh, I don't know, like, my husband's not cheating, like, there is no evidence, there's that, then don't go so hard on Jo-Ellen. Be like, girl, I know what's happening. I need you to keep your trap shut. This is how the way my marriage works. Don't judge me until you get your own shit figured out. But that's just me.
When I feel like that could be a conversation off cameras too, where she's like, girl, I know what's going on, but I'm not trying to put that out into the world. So if you can just rein it back a little bit or just tap the gas pedal, that would be great. But as we've learned, she is an FBI agent. She will get the evidence and she will show it. So shout out Jo-Ellen for being able to come up with what she said she was going to come up with. But I don't know. It's crazy that she was still quite a storyline without actually really being on the show this week. She's bringing the drama without even being there. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
I'm like on the edge of my seat for next week's episode because I'm really, really excited to see how she navigates this. And then we also see that there's been other allegations with her and her husband with the tracking and all that sort. I will say my aunt sends me the Providence Journal like every single day almost now with new stuff coming out about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. That state has been rocked by this show. It's just such a small state. It's everyone knows everyone. I think this cast is so close and we don't even see it yet. We have like the interwebs, I feel like that guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he has the board and all the different lines on it. That's how I feel about this cast. I want to see how Brian also navigates it. And I want to see how the rest of the housewives are like, Rulla, are you just blind? Especially Liz. Like, Liz is such good friends with Rulla. Like, is this going to end their friendship? What are we going to see? And then also, how are we going to see this reunion taped? Because they're going to bring out receipts. They're going to bring out other allegations. It's going to be so juicy.
I'm very curious to see what happens next week, too. I wonder if they go home next week. How many days were they supposed to be up there? Was it supposed to be just like a long weekend? 3 days? I really hope that if Alicia does bring it up, she's going to say something wrong. Actually, she's probably the best one to give Rulla this because she's the funniest. Without really meaning to be funny, she's just that type of person and she has that type of personality. So maybe it's not going to be as bad as we think.
But also, that friend of the mistress who's also friends with Jo-Ellen, she's going to get herself in some deep shit. The recording, here's the date, here's that. Honestly, good on her though too, in case she does need evidence. But I can just feel this all bubbling into a lawsuit.
I just am shook on how rocked Rhode Island is about this. Man, front page news. I wonder why Ribaro didn't do it earlier about taking reality TV to Rhode Island. Man, good stuff.
Any final thoughts?
Mr. Rulla needs to get his act together. Rulla better be on next week's episode more than she is now. Jo-Ellen, please keep staying that FBI agent. And I hope that Ashley's son is doing much better. I hope we get an update on him next episode. How about you?
I would echo everything you say. I really think that we are not, maybe even in the middle of the season right now, that we are about to get way more than what we're expecting. These women are so messy. They are so perfect for reality TV. I think it's going to be amazing. So I'm pumped. If there's no other final thoughts, let's tear this tiramisu up and talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, since it is Mother's Day, we picked another store-bought, something that you can get anywhere type of dessert so that we can enjoy spending this day with our mothers.
Which, by the way, Corbyn is the only one who spent the day with her mother.
Yeah, I spent the day with my mother-in-law yesterday.
I was gonna say, don't both your moms live out of state?
Yeah, they do. So there we go. That also plays a little part. They're both still in Pennsylvania. But I think my sister went to go see my mom. So she saw one of her children since two of my other siblings are out of state. But like we know, Rhode Island is mostly, well, shockingly, some of it is Greek, but mostly Italian is what I'm going to say. So tiramisu just felt right on this one. We were going to do the one from Costco. Was it a tiramisu cheesecake?
Yeah, that shit broke my heart when you texted that they didn't have it.
Ben and I walked up and down that sweets area of Costco and we just could not find it. So we were like, well, we went to Old Reliable, Wegmans, because they always have what you need. And I thought it was pretty good, ladies. What did you guys think? I thought that it had the right amount of coffee. It was soft. I don't think I would change a thing about it.
Okay, if I'm being honest, it wasn't my favorite tiramisu. I think it could have been a little bit more stronger. I definitely got more spongier. I think that I really like to be able to taste the espresso in my tiramisu. I think the top could have had a little bit more chocolate powder on it. For cheesecake tiramisu, I would rate it like maybe like a 6 out of 10. And I'm sorry, it's nothing against Wegmans, but it didn't slap for me.
I'm not Mr. Wegman, so I'm not offended. Corbin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I would agree. Not enough coffee flavor, but anything coffee flavored, I want. The texture, though, was really good, and the other flavors were really good. But for me, I agree there wasn't enough coffee. But I'd probably put it 7.5 to an 8 out of 10.
So then, what has been your favorite tiramisu that you've ever had? Or if you're not home making it, where do you like getting your tiramisu?
Okay, you made really good tiramisu brownies one time. That slapped. I think you did make, was it brownies?
It was, honestly, I was going to say that has been my favorite
Mm-hmm.
because that was really good. Should I post that as the recipe for this week, or should I actually do like an OG tiramisu?
Do the brownies, and if we want to do an OG, we can do an OG.
Okay. Yeah, because that one was really good. There's just something about the brownie and the chocolate, especially because I'm not a big chocolate girl. I wonder if it's the thickness or kind of like the chewiness with the lightness of the tiramisu, like that type of two different textures was what intrigued my taste buds.
Yeah, that was really good. Also, like the bonus of us having our own podcast and our own channels is we can post whatever the heck we want. So, period. I will say some of the best tiramisu, like actual tiramisu I've ever had was from my friend Jenna. She made it for my friend Kayla's, one of the lesbians. Those lesbians made it for her birthday a few years ago when we were in Big Bear. And I remember we were all drunk and probably stoned, and we were just sitting around eating this tiramisu all night long. It was so good. I did have a tiramisu cup from Tate the other day. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so that's a good one. I feel like I've had other tiramisu somewhere. Did we have tiramisu for my ex-boyfriend's birthday when we were at that Italian place in Clifton?
I think we did. I think we did have some. But clearly it was unmemorable to me.
Okay, so I think starting right now, May 10th, we're going to start Tiramisu Diaries. And whenever one of us has tiramisu, we have to put it in our notes so that we can come back to this conversation and figure out where the best tiramisu is. What about you, Amber? Where do you go for your tiramisu?
I want to say when I worked at the deli, she had some really good tiramisu. And I honestly think she bought it from Sam's Club. Yeah. And then honestly, Olive Garden has really good tiramisu, which I don't know why I'm so surprised. I feel like I am because it's a chain. So it probably just comes in frozen and then they thaw it in the refrigerator. But that's really good. And I want to say, oh, there's this Italian restaurant in Fair Lakes next to the Target. There's an Italian restaurant over there. They had phenomenal tiramisu. Highly recommend. This also goes back to the coworker I was telling you about who also likes the Italian store. He's gone there, and there's another location I think out in Loudon, and they're from Italy or their heritage goes back to Italian roots, and so it's really good. Corbin?
Funny enough, I was going to say Tate has a pretty good tiramisu. There's one pretty close to my office, so I've walked down there a few times and had various things. I don't have a lot of tiramisu in the wild, but I do feel like when I'm in New York is when I'm having the most random things. So I'm sure there was one in New York that I had that was next level, but the one that first came to mind was the Tate one.
Man, I need to try this Tate one.
Yeah, so I guess tiramisu recipe coming soon. Tiramisu brownie recipe coming soon.
Yes.
Any final thoughts before we get into our final whisk?
I think we should just whisk up our final whisk.
How much whisking could a whisk if a whisk could whisk? I think my final whisk of the week is watching Jo-Ellen and Alicia and their conversation that was so raw and so pure, and then comparing that to Rulla and seeing how kind of it was just such a production, it was very fake. It just felt like it was so produced. I think it's important to show, and we see this on the Valley too, we see a lot of rawness from these characters, and they're not even characters, they're actual people. And that reminds me every single day that I need, one, to not be as judgmental because we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Two, these people take a lot of heat online. And I'm sure that people have said nasty things about Jo-Ellen. I'm sure people have said some nasty things about Alicia. But we don't know what they've been through. We don't know what their childhoods were like. Everyone was raised differently. You and I, while we are best friends, we have a lot of similarities, very much raised differently. But I think us understanding how our parents raised us and where we came from really makes us better friends and an ability to be better friends. So seeing these women go through that is really giving me hope that they will be friends towards the end of this and these relationships will last forever.
I think my final whisk is really going to come from the End of the Valley episode. With also we're going to tie it into Mother's Day and having my brother-in-law come in. I get to see hopefully two of my siblings this coming week when I go to Chicago for the day. And then just talking to one of my other siblings on the FaceTime. You don't know when your loved one's going to pass or a person you care deeply about might not be around anymore. So really taking the time to appreciate the time that you have and making sure that there's no regrets if something were to happen. So, yeah, I think that's it. Squeeze your loved ones tighter this week.
This episode got real sad real quick.
I wouldn't say sad. I feel like it was just more, there was a lot more thought. It's very thought. It was a very real. I mean, we had a lot of real topics, I think, between both episodes, and they were hard. So I feel like that makes sense. We were just a little mushy. That's all.
Mushy like tiramisu.
Yum.
I do think it's funny that we started with Clara pooping herself and ended with very nice mushy thoughts.
It's all mushy at the end of the day, no matter where it comes from.
All right, on that note, Amber, take us home.
All right, weekend friends. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Need for Reality for the recipes and the chaos.
And please don't forget to leave us a review. Subscribe. We got our first troller though on YouTube. So if you are at Michael, whatever your name was, I actually don't care to memorize your username. I hope you enjoy this one, and I hope that you will tell a friend to watch us. All right, you guys, and until next time.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.